That's us.
That's us.
The Manster, Ganache, Dan. We gotta come up with a really good nickname for
You gotta come up with a nickname.
You know what Dan is?
Right.
Dan is the Boom. Because he brings the boom.
He's the boom.
Boom Tube Comics. Look what I'm going to do. Lou's going to make some magic happen. 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike, Southington, Connecticut. 06489?
79.
79.
No one cares about the zip code.
They're not mailing stuff.
We are here for our third episode, I believe, of Book by Book.
Yes.
And by buy, we say buy, because we want you to come down and buy some of these books. So what we do is we're going to go down the awesome line here at BoomTube Comics, the great wall o' books.
The wall of books.
We're going to talk about some of the stuff that's newer, some of the stuff that came out this week, and some of the stuff that's just knocking people's socks off. And Dan's here as the proprietor to kind of give us an idea of what's really hot right now and what you should be concerned with getting down to your local comic store and picking up. Let's start right off the bat with a couple of the highlights from this week. Right off the bat, Jason Aaron.
What do we call this?
Yeah, what is this, Dan? Is this
What
your
do we
new
call this
book
little-
rack?
this
Yeah,
little
that's
display?
new books,
New
key
books.
books.
Key books.
Key books.
Key books, because the new books are
Hot
also
books of the week.
Hot-
Featured item.
hot books
Hot
of the week.
books, hot books.
Hot book.
Hot books. Ready for some hot books?
Right.
So hot
Yeah,
you
here we
can't
go.
touch them.
Jason Aaron.
Do I need to get up closer?
Jason Aaron started his Thor run
Yep.
like 7 or 8 years ago. He started off with the Saad Ribic drawing it, and he did the God what was it?
God
The
Butcher.
God Butcher.
The God Butcher.
And then he moved through to the Jane Foster Thor, and he did that whole run of Jane Foster as Thor.
Yeah.
The Unworthy Thor. We find out what made Thor unworthy. Then he came back with the Mike Del Mundo, right? Mike
Yes,
Del Mundo
Mike Del
art,
Mundo.
the Thor series, and now this is it. I think it's 4. Is it 4 issues,
This is,
Dan?
I think
Yes.
it's 6 issues.
6 issues? 4
Six?
issues?
Pretty sure it's 6.
Let's split the difference. 5 issues.
Five
we don't
issues.
know. This is the
Whatever.
last bit, King Thor.
King
so
Thor.
once this ends, and he's back with the
Esad
Saad Ribic
Ribic is drawing this too.
drawing it, so it's a bookend. I got to tell you, I am far behind, admittedly, but I love Jason Aaron, and the God Butcher, God Killer story arc is easily one of my favorite
It's the best.
stories of all time.
My favorite Thor.
Beautiful art, and here's a bookend to it. So check that out. That came out this
That
week.
is a hot book. This week.
Yeah, I bet you it's a hot book. Next up,
Next one, DC.
Gotham Monsters.
Nice.
Dan, what is
Gotham
this? This just
City
came out of
Monsters.
nowhere?
Gotham City Monsters.
Gotham City Monsters.
It's a team up of heroic monsters. I don't know how
Orlando.
Killer Croc got to be a hero. But
Killer
Orlando
Croc,
Croc.
I do know for a fact when they did Rebirth, I read the first couple issues of Detective Comics, and no, it wasn't Killer Croc. It was Clayface. Take all that back. Yeah, Killer Croc apparently is a hero now.
He's
We
a
don't know
hero.
how,
He's a hero.
but it looks like we've got Frankenstein from
Yep.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Orca, who was a Batman villain,
Yep.
and then I embarrassedly admit, I don't know, is that a gargoyle of some sort?
I haven't read it yet. But
Okay,
I'm
so
not
so
sure.
gargoyle
That looks like
gargoyle woman
He's got 2 cocoons in front of him.
Clarion
Yeah.
or Witch Boy. I
and
guess.
Clarion the Witch Boy. So
guess.
this is a 6-issue miniseries. So if you're into the Gotham City Monsters and Killer Croc maybe as the lead character, check that out. All right, what do we got next?
That is
Next
a hot book
up,
this week, too.
by
Hot book as
Alterna
well.
Comics,
Yeah.
Red Koi.
Red Koi. We talk about
Number
Alterna.
1 of a 2-issue micro series.
Micro.
Micro.
Whoa.
series.
And we know
Smaller than
Lou,
mini.
who is filming this currently, has this in his pile. He loves Alterna. We recently talked to Peter Cimetti, the head of Alterna Comics, on the radio show, and just a great dude. And they focus on a lot of nothing ongoing, all minis or
Yeah.
apparently micros. And this looks like it might be. Let me just take a look at this real quick. This looks like it might be all on newsprint again.
yeah.
Kind of
It's
cool
all
art
about the
there.
newsprint.
Oh,
What is
look
it,
at that.
150?
Art's
Look at
really
that.
cool.
All very like cool red shades.
Yeah.
So picture the cover, that red kind of hue, and just go through it, and you got a lot of that going on. And as always,
Mature title.
mature title. There might be some boobies or some boobies. Dan knows.
Yes.
$1.50. So check that out.
Yep.
What else we have? Oh, here's
Last
Lloyd's
but not
One of the
movie.
least-
hottest books of the week.
Last but not least, Chainsaw Reindeer.
Chainsaw Reindeer, folks.
Right.
So
On reorder. There's
Is
there's
it on
more
reorder?
coming.
This is the if you come today or you come tomorrow, Saturday.
Last copy.
Last copy.
Last
right
copy.
there.
But there's more coming.
You like Santa, you like reindeer, you like revenge stories. It's messed up. Let's just say that. I think you like it.
my only comment about the whole thing is I think they missed the marketing. They should call it Chain Deer.
Reindeer.
But still, it's Action Lab, Danger Zone.
Yep.
Let's see, what does this look like? Oh, it's pretty cool. Oh, it's
Yeah.
gory. It's gory for sure.
Oh, it's
We
gory.
got some. It is what it advertised. It's not one of those clever titles. Chainsaw Reindeer features a reindeer Yeah, a reindeer
He's chainsawing the
killing
shit
things
out
with
of
a
things.
chainsaw. A lot of blood.
Just chainsawing everything.
Yeah. So this was Dan. You said you just pulled the trigger on this like out of nowhere. You said I'm gonna get chainsaw reindeer and see how it
Looks
sells.
good. Looks good.
Looks good. And how many?
Sounds
you
great.
sold everything except for this one copy.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Well, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's
Yep.
in my list.
And that's what everybody said. Chainsaw reindeer. I'm in.
Chainsaw reindeer. I'm in. All right. So we're gonna move on from the hot books to the DC books. Let's do that.
All right.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
You know what I want to talk about next here at BoomTube Comics?
What, John?
DC Comics.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're a DC guy, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull that out of you being the store owner. You got to.
I am a DC
But you
guy.
do enjoy DC very much.
Love DC.
Not saying you enjoy anything less. It's
No.
just that you enjoy DC very much.
Yes.
So right off the bat, what is Batman Superman #1?
Hey, look at that.
Batman.
Oh,
Look at that. Connecting covers.
connecting covers.
Batman Superman #1
Magic
is
right there.
the continuation of Batman Who Laughs story and what's going on with the infected heroes, which is really cool.
And who are the infected heroes?
Those crazy little Robins that hang out with him.
Okay, all right. And did I hear rumor that we might have gotten a certain Big Red Cheese
Yes.
sighting? So there is
Yes.
now a Shazam
Who
who
laughs.
laughs. Okay, all right. So that's
All
enough
right.
to get you in. And it's
we
ground
need that.
floor. We love to call it ground flooring here at #1.
Number one.
And that's a couple weeks old at this point, right? So
Yes.
but you have plenty of copies here right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And #2 will be
First
coming very
prints.
soon. First print, by the way, as he says. Now this cover makes me feel a little weird inside, and weird by I mean really good.
Makes me
Yes.
feel good inside.
This is Art Germ.
Gives me funny feelings.
This is very specifically an issue of Catwoman, but that is very specifically Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman
Yes.
right there.
Correct.
That is
Yes.
Batman Returns 1992, hot as white lightning.
Yes. Super hot cover.
Oh, look at that.
Last cover in Art Germ's Catwoman series.
So did he do? Oh, this is issue number. One thing I hate about some of these variants is you can't tell.
Yeah, who
16.
knows?
15.
15?
Did he do all 15?
No, he did. I don't know how many he did.
But he did a bunch of
He did
Catwoman.
a bunch of Catwoman covers.
Okay. Are you reading Catwoman as a book?
No, I'm
No,
not.
I'm not either, so I can't talk about the book. But I can tell you,
Sick cover.
sick cover, and super hot. And if you're reading Batman stuff right now, it's probably pretty important at least to get a little fix of Catwoman in, because once Tom King's Batman story ends at
Yes.
85,
Yes.
he's going to be doing I don't remember how long,
6 issues.
6 issues, Catwoman Batman series to kind of cap it all off.
Yes.
So
with
you
the
might-
Phantasm from the animated
Yes, yeah, from
series.
the
So
movie.
awesome.
Oh, okay.
All right, what do we have after that? Whoa!
How
I
did
thought that was
get
for
in
the
there?
video.
I don't know how that got in there.
Here we go. We're not going to be disparaging about how long this is taking, but we are at 11 of 12.
11 of 12. We're
which
almost there.
It excites me because I
The
feel
light
like
at the end of the tunnel.
The end is nigh.
Yeah.
Doomsday Clock,
Get that reference?
which I did get that. Doomsday Clock, the I guess you could say quasi sequel, semi-sequel, pseudo-sequel to Watchmen.
Yes.
That Jeff John's been writing, Gary Frank has been drawing. I read up to issue 4. I'm enjoying it, but then it became a little bit.
I read this, and this
Way
book,
too few and far between.
this book ends with you're like, oh,
Ends with a bang.
the shit's about to hit the
Ooh.
fan.
Kind of, and it's also really great timing because October 20th, I think, HBO Watchmen series comes out. Not that you need to
Yes.
read this to see that,
No,
but
no.
if you're a Watchmen fan, all this stuff's happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You might want to check it out. Doomsday Clock, and it's got a little Batman hand stopping someone from doing something,
Turning the launch key.
doing something a little
yeah.
nuclear there. But yeah,
Nuclear or nuclear?
nuclear.
Nuclear.
Yeah,
Did I say
you said,
nuclear?
I thought you said nuclear, but
I probably did.
I
I
probably.
probably no. I have terrible diction with a lot of
You know what today is?
Today
A good day to die.
is today a good day to die?
Yeah.
Friday
Yes.
the 13th.
Yeah, today's Friday the 13th.
Full moon.
Full moon.
It's a
and
great
the-
day to die, actually.
It's the last time. Don't say that. I still gotta drive home. We're not out of here yet, man. I do kind of love the just like the title, Deceased. But
Yes.
this is not Deceased #5.
No.
This is its own story, right?
That's
Yes.
a one shot.
It's
one
what's
shot.
going on outside of Metropolis where our main heroes are.
Okay, so the first couple issues of Deceased are about
It's
a
a bloodbath.
zombie apocalypse that is happening in the DC universe.
Yes.
Batman has become a zombie. It's not going to give too much away. So this is showing you what's happening outside of that zone.
Yes.
Life is happening, but other things are happening as well.
And it's a bloodfest.
All right, Lloyd asked me to pick this one out because Lloyd is reading Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
Clayton
Justice
Crane
League
cover.
Dark. Oh, good
Clayton
cover.
Crane is badass
Yeah.
too. Clayton Crane, and is that Man Bat? Yeah, that's
Yes,
Man
that's
Bat, right?
Man Bat.
Now, what are you enjoying about this book?
Well, it's the first time I've read Justice League Dark. And
Right.
I like it. You know, it's got the magic stuff in it. It's got Constantine.
Yes.
It's got, what do you got? Hecate? Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's got
Zatanna.
Swamp Thing,
Wonder Woman,
Man Bat.
Wonder Woman's a big part of this, man.
Yeah.
What is the chimp professor? Is it not
Bobo?
Detective Chimp.
Detective Chimp, not Professor
Yeah.
Chimp.
Yep,
Detective
yep.
Chimp. So if you like your Justice League, but a little bit less up and away, a little bit darker, and led by
their headquarters.
A lot darker.
Yeah.
Their headquarters is in the basement of the Hall of Justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're downstairs.
Yeah, they meet in a bar all the time.
Yeah.
I read the first few issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
I read the first few issues. I enjoyed it. I just kind of have fallen behind, but
It's very good.
good stuff.
Always good.
What do we got? What next from DC? Ooh,
Dollar
man.
books from DC.
So
This is $1. Oh,
Yes.
$1.
$1 reprint of Hush. First
608.
issue, 608.
First issue of Hush. On our old podcast From the Hip, our previous host, me and John, Vinny, his favorite Batman story of all time. He talked about it all the time. If you never read Hush before, it's an enjoyable story written by Jeff Loeb and drawn by Jim Lee. I think it went maybe 12 issues. It was like a whole year, and it involves Batman and a mysterious figure from his past who's trying to take his life apart. And this is a $1 reprint of that first issue. Right. And you know what? You come down,
It's a
you
new
pick
cover.
it up. It's a new cover. And then Dan can order you the trades, whatever you want.
Actually, the new trade is in the shop, and it has a matching cover to this $1 book.
Boom. Boom.
Boom.
Win-win.
At the tube.
Oh, look at this. Now, that is a $1 comic reprint.
Yep.
This is a DC
Facsimile edition.
facsimile edition. What makes it a facsimile edition, Dan?
It's a complete reprint, including the ads and everything
Yes.
of the book. So
Oh,
the
my.
book, except for the price on the front cover, is
Ladies,
exactly
if your
the same.
man is not getting you one of these rings, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
You
You're in
gotta
trouble.
Get out of
Yeah.
that relationship.
You're in a lot of trouble with this guy.
You could probably still send in the money and get that ring.
You probably can. You probably can. Is there
right.
Charles Atlas getting kicked in the sand, face with sand in here at all?
Looney Tunes, Merry Medleys.
Binoculars for
Oh,
$1.
extra X-ray vision.
No, those
I could use a pair of those. Oh, here we go. This I
rally
used to
bike.
love.
Oh, yeah. Look
Oh
at that.
yeah, and look, you can cut that out, send it in,
Yeah,
destroy
good
the
to go.
value of
Yeah,
your
you still
comic,
can
and
do it.
then never get any of this
Yes.
stuff because this company went under about 60 years ago.
And then kick yourself
Right there.
because guess what? That book's like thousands of dollars now, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Fly your own 747 jumbo jet.
There you go.
There you go.
Made out of styrofoam.
Only $2.95.
Only
Look at how big that
$2.95.
is.
Only $2.95.
Jesus.
All right. So that is the facsimile edition. That is House of Secrets 92, the first appearance of Swamp Thing, but they're doing those for multiple others, right?
Yes. First appearance of Ra's al Ghul's been done. First Poison Ivy. They're coming out.
They have them every week or no?
They've been every week the last couple weeks.
There you go. So if it's something you're looking for, it might be coming out.
Yes.
Here we go.
What is this?
Legion of Superheroes.
Millennium.
Written by Brian Michael Bendis. A lot of artists in here.
2-issue micro series.
Micro series again.
Another one.
Dustin Wen, Jim Lee art is in here. And if you look at
Generally
it,
interiors.
interiors, yeah, not covers.
Yeah.
And if you look at this here, you might go, wow, this isn't the Legion I'm used to.
Sick.
Supergirl. The Terry McGinnis Batman, it looks like.
Yes.
We've got, let's see, who else do we have here? We have
Commandy.
Wow.
Yeah, Commandy.
The Gold Lantern.
Golden Lantern, and then just, I'm assuming
that?
some characters I'm not really
Who's
too
this
familiar
purple
with.
guy?
I'm not sure. I probably know who he was in the regular DC universe, but they probably changed some stuff over there.
They did change a few characters.
I
in
think
this.
that's Brainiac right there. I
Yeah,
could
that's
be wrong.
Brainiac.
So if
That's
you're a fan,
Mon-El.
here's the thing with the Legion is they're a very popular team and a very popular product that is just never. It's not always being printed by DC. It's like it seems like it's in and out. So I guess from what I read, I could be wrong. This is a 2-issue micro series, and then they're looking to break it into.
Bendis is doing a
full series.
Yes.
So if you're a fan of the Legion and their antics in the 31st century, I think it is, then this is the break-in to get you into it. And this is a variant cover. I think we had some top shelf here.
X-Men of the DC universe.
Yeah, basically futuristic superheroes from all different planets. I'm one of those guys. I've read certain runs of Legion, and I've enjoyed quite a bit of it. So check that out.
And that's it.
That's it for DC. Let's move on to Marv.
Marvel.
You know, Dan, here at Boom Tube Comics, after we talk about DC, we always pivot over to Marvel.
Yes.
And with that, I want to talk about everybody's favorite heroes from the Great White North. Guess who's back? Alpha Flight is back with a brand new #1. And it looks like, I'm assuming it's got to be a mini. Yes. Because Alpha Flight is pretty much just their mini level, right?
One shot.
Oh, it's a one shot.
One shot.
True North, if you are a fan of Puck, if you're a fan of Sasquatch, if you're a fan of Snowbird, if you're a fan of Vindicator, one of my all-time favorite character names, Box. Yes, there's a guy named Box in one of the flights. I think he's in Beta Flight.
North Star.
North Star, Aurora.
Yep.
And then there's the Mer Woman. There's a Mer Woman. What's her name? Can't remember her name. But in any case, if you're a fan of Canadian superheroes who aren't Wolverine, then please do us a favor and come down to see Dan and say, Dan, can I get a copy of Alpha Flight True North one shot right now? If you're also a fan of Marvel, something new happened recently. Marvel Comics 1000, Dan.
Marvel Comics 1000, 80th anniversary.
The 80th anniversary of Marvel Comics just came out. A bunch. Now, you've got a good amount of covers left over?
A few. A few variant covers.
A few variant covers.
A lot of A.
And it's what? It's single stories with different writers and different artists.
1-2 pages for different artist teams. Just about everybody who's alive who's still working on Marvel, who's worked on Marvel Comics,
right,
is represented in there. And even Batman makes an appearance.
Does he really?
Yes, he does.
See, even Batman can't not say happy birthday to Marvel Comics. Now, as you can see from the cover that Lou has so expertly put next to Dan here, that is the it looks like Mark Bagley Ultimate variant cover. So very cool. Hey, here's a book that I read and I'm enjoying the hell out of. It's Matthew Rosenberg's
super hot book,
The Punisher. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm a huge Punisher fan, and I'm not always so into the Punisher books where he's in the Marvel Universe proper. I kind of like the Max books where there's not a lot of superhero stuff going on. This book is the exception to the rule. Baron Zemo has taken over a country, and it is basically like kind of like a lawless, crime-filled, just terrible place. And who goes there to clean house? Frank Castle, because he'll kill you no matter what. And he actually gets caught by Zemo. There's a 3 or 4 issue arc where he's in prison. There is some awesome stuff. And as you can see from the cover there that Lou so expertly put up, we end up getting the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider showing up. We get Night Thrasher, and we get Moon Knight. Oh, and Black Widow too. Let's skip over Moon Knight real quick and go to Black Widow. But if you enjoy The Punisher, if you're a fan, Matthew Rosenberg is writing the hell out of it. And it's just a fun ride. So, and you said it's a pretty hot book, right? People are coming looking for it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and
I just had a guy come back today and sign up.
Sign up for The Punisher.
Yes. Yep.
Which you could do here with Dan at BoomTube Comics. And when you do that, what is it? 10 issues, you get what? What are your breakdowns for pull lists?
Everything's bagged and boarded. At 5 issues, you get a 10% discount. At 10 issues, you get the discount and a full set of previews every month.
What do you get at 100 issues? Do you have any at 100?
No.
Yeah. I don't blame you. That's a lot. If you did, I know they're pretty impressive. Now, we talked about the facsimile editions over at DC, but they're not the only ones doing it.
No.
Right? So again,
Marvel did it first.
Marvel did it first. #1, Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman #1, and that is the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman.
Yes.
From the 70s. And again, as we talked about before, all the original ads,
yes.
The original art, the original story, everything except for the price tag is the same, and that's not a bad thing.
A little bit different, a little bit better quality paper. Not like the DC is more of a facsimile and feel as well. This is a little bit thicker paper.
So they boosted up the gauge of the paper a little bit.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Now we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to show both sides of this because it's a little bit different, and then we'll put it up on the hollow wall, as Lou put it, the hologram wall. Silver Surfer Black, Immortal variant, and the reason we wanted to show you everything on here.
Look at that. Sexy.
They're doing this for all of the Immortal Hulk, right? This is Immortal variant means it has something to do with Immortal Hulk. It's showing you.
Originally, Immortal Hulk was the first one to do that concept.
It's showing you basically Norrin Rad becoming the Silver Surfer.
Right.
There you go. That's written by Donny Cates with art by Trad Moore. Yes. And it is a very trippy book. I'm not a huge Silver Surfer fan myself, but I picked it up just based on reading a blurb about it. And the general idea is that in the beginning, I guess it spins out of the current Guardians book. Silver Surfer ends up going through a black hole, and he ends up being chased down by the god of the symbiotes.
No. Yeah.
And he ends up getting infected. His arm is turning black. He is slowly dying, and he runs into Ego the Living Planet, and it just gets trippy as balls from that point on. but it's a very cool book.
Another hot book, second, third printings.
Second, third printings? Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's crazy.
Speaking of hot books.
Oh, this is super hot.
This is not only super hot.
Why hot?
This is it's out of my wheelhouse. I'm not a fan per se, but I know this is popular. Absolute Carnage.
Absolute Carnage. Carnage is going after everybody who was ever possessed by the symbiote. So he's taking on everybody, even if they were in like one panel of a book.
He's going after him.
Yes.
So this is Donny Cates as well.
Yes.
And this is a mini, but then it branches out into a million different things.
Yeah,
right?
Lethal Protectors versus Deadpool, Scream, which Scream is now getting an ongoing as well after this is all done, and then like 4 or 5 one-shots. Immortal Hulk, Spirit of Vengeance, or Symbiote of Vengeance is the latest one-shot with Ghost Rider. It's really, really, really going well.
And we talked about the Silver Surfer Black also has Null in it.
Yeah.
The god of the symbiotes in Savage Avengers. Conan has a sword made out of symbiotes. So
yeah.
A lot of stuff with symbiotes going on right now. If that's your bag, cool for you. Savage Sword of Conan.
Speaking of swords.
Speaking of Conan. This is just an awesome, awesome book. So you got the 2 Conan books going on right now. You have Jason Aaron writing Conan the Barbarian, and then you have various different writers doing Savage Sword. This is, I think, the 3rd writing crew so far on this one. And these 2 issues so far, basically Conan ends up in a den of inequities and horrible things and gamblers and murderers, and he ends up having to play for his life in a card game. The cool thing about this book is that in the first issue, they actually give you the rules to the card game and how to print it out so you can learn how to play it yourself. So it's just a cool little thing that you don't see a lot in comic books anymore.
No, that's cool.
Or in anything. And it's been very good. I think the next issue is the last of this story arc, and I'm assuming it's going on from there.
Speaking of cool books.
Speaking of hot books, Dan.
Or hot books, yeah.
Powers of X issue 4 of 6.
So hot, it's cool.
So hot. Now, first of all, I want to correct something here, Dan.
Yes.
Am I saying it wrong? Is it Powers of X or
Powers of 10?
But the other book is House of X.
Yes, correct.
Jonathan Hickman, who has done a bunch of stuff in the indie world, East of West, the Nightly News, and he's known very much for his Avengers run.
Yes. New
Avengers, and he's also known for his Fantastic Four run in Marvel. Has taken over the X-Men.
Knocking it out of the park.
Knocking out of the park. This is I come here, and I have myself at least 3 or 4 times seen people come to you and ask you, do you have House of X? Do you have Powers of X?
Yes.
Powers of 10, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Can you get me on the list? So is this what you would consider right now, like the hottest sought after book?
Without doubt.
Without a doubt.
Without doubt, hands down, over Amazing Spider-Man, Batman, everybody, the hottest book on the shelf.
And are you reading it yourself?
I read the first few issues of both, but we sold out so quickly, I didn't even get a chance to get my hands.
Are you saying you're the kind of store owner, Dan, that will give up your own personal copy?
Yes.
So
I'm waiting for the second print.
The person who shops at Boom Tube Comics, 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike, scrolling, lighting up, can come down and get it? That's pretty awesome. That's pretty selfless of you.
Yep.
Well, Dan,
read the in-between pages. There's pages
there's charts. There's all different kinds of crazy stuff.
Adds to the experience.
Adds to the experience, absolutely.
Without doubt. Makes you feel like a little bit of a hacker.
Oh, I like that.
Hacker.
I like that. Let's hack our way over to the independent books.
There you go.
All right. So how do you make a Manster magically appear? You yell out, "Independent books time!"
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
And you get past the Marvel stuff.
How do you make me disappear?
You say Marvel.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, nothing against Marvel. Manster just doesn't read much Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
It's okay.
But he reads a lot of indie stuff. So we're going to go over some of the books right now that are clicking his heels together, and stuff we like too. So what's the first book that we're going to pass on down to the Wall of Fame over there?
Let's do Black Hammer Justice League by Dark Horse. Sorry, this goes to you.
So Dark Horse and DC came together.
Yep.
They're taking the heroes of the Black Hammer world and the heroes of the Justice League world, and they're mixing them together into a pretty cool little story. I have not read any of it myself. Are you enjoying it?
Oh, I'm loving it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we knew you would.
They're swapping positions, you know.
Okay. So are some of them in our world or Metropolis, and then the other ones are going to Rockville?
The Black Hammer people are in Metropolis, and the superheroes are in
Interesting.
Like you said.
And even more interesting is if you want to hear more.
Our world?
Well, the DC universe, the DC universe,
the real world,
the really real world. Now, if you want to check out more about Black Hammer, please go to Pint Comics, follow us, and then go to episode number 98.
Excellent episode.
And we talk. Thank you. We talk all about the Black Hammer first volume, Secret Origins.
I'm so much better than you.
I'm so much better than you is the name of the show. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. All right. So next, before we go back to Manster, this is a really important book to talk about. J. Scott Campbell variant cover. Here we have
Spawn 300.
Spawn 300. History making right there in the fact that it is the longest independent title to get. It's 300 right now. It's tied. It's tied with Cerebus.
Yes.
Okay.
The Aardvark.
But
300 too.
300, and it ended at 300. So next month, Spawn 301 will be out, and Todd McFarlane and Image will be the record holders.
Yes.
Now, Spawn is one of those titles, Dan, that I'm assuming, maybe tell me if I'm wrong, do you get a lot of people pulling Spawn?
I would say it's okay.
It's okay. Do you notice a lot more people coming in, whether it be for speculative reasons, or maybe they're going, hey, I used to read Spawn, this might be a good jumping on point. Do you see that happening right now?
Yes.
So you're seeing some people kind of regaining some interest.
Since like 295.
295 or so.
Yeah, everybody was like the road to Spawn, I want the whole thing. And
okay.
move into that.
All right. Yeah, and so you've got some pretty cool. Greg Capullo, who drew Spawn for a long time, is back for that issue.
Yep. Capullo McFarlane cover.
McFarlane cover as well.
They did a team cover. Too.
Oh, they did one together.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think Scott Snyder writes a story in there too, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I believe Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder writes at least like a 3-page story in that book as well. I know that. I'm going to be more confident about that. I'm right about that. What do you got next, Manster?
Moving on, here's The Goon by Eric Powell.
Oh.
Cover, beautiful cover by Jeff Smith.
Jeff Smith, cardstock.
Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Good stuff right there. Go ahead and put that up on the wall of fame. Are you a Goon reader?
I've been reading Goon. You know, I know he had a run prior to the recent run, but I just picked it up on the recent one. I love the artwork. I love the character. He's really cool. He's a Goon.
I've only read at one point the Goon kind of came in because I read Hellboy stuff. There was a Hellboy Goon crossover at one point in Hellboy, and it worked. It's one of those books that like it had been out for so long that I was like I'm not going to go back, but it seems like one of those books that would be up my alley. So check the Goon out.
And we just did the Goon Grumble crossover.
Oh right,
right.
We did talk about that. We did talk about that. Grumble from Rafer Roberts. Crossed over with the Goon.
Mike Norton.
Mike Norton from Revival. All right, so here's a book that I'm actually reading. If you know anything about me, you know that I am a huge fan of the 1982 Ridley Scott science fiction classic Blade Runner. I did go see Blade Runner 2049 in the theater. Okay, whatever. It was okay. But, what's that?
Not a movie review.
IDW?
Yeah.
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 IDW.
No,
right?
Titan.
Apologies to Titan. Titan Comics is putting out a miniseries. I read the first 2 issues. It takes place in the exact same time frame as the first Blade Runner. So it's called Blade Runner 2019, and that's actually the year that the first Blade Runner...
And it's picking up some steam. We got a few subs for this book.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I picked the book up here myself.
Good for Titan.
Yeah, and it's an interesting story. It's about a female Blade Runner, and there's this whole story about a mother and daughter who are trying to escape from the father, and she's kind of on the trail of them. And why is she on the trail of them? Is there any androids involved? It's pretty damn cool. So, what do you got next?
Well, speaking of Mike Norton, and this one's called Battle Pug.
Crazy.
Ooh, Battle Pug.
That was an online previously, right? Did you ever read that?
No.
It was a long-running, I believe, online, like a webcomic.
Okay.
By Mike Norton, who also did
Revival.
What we just talked about, Revival and Grumble. And the character Battle Pug looks a lot like a character in Grumble. And I think there may be a crossover at some point.
A little crossover potential.
Pugs is called a Grumble.
Is it?
For real.
Well, I did not know that.
I didn't know that groups of certain dogs had their own names.
Yeah.
Really?
Like I thought a group of dogs would be called a pack.
No, a group of pugs is called a Grumble.
Really?
Grumble of pugs.
Yep. So see, it fits.
It totally fits. All right.
That's Lou.
Awesome.
Lou's giving us the facts.
Lou's giving us the facts.
Just the facts.
Fact
check.
check.
The facts.
All right. What else?
Let's just call it Planet of Nerds, of the Nerds by Ahoy Comics.
That's right.
This was the last
planet.
issue. It was a 5-issue series, and if you're not reading any Ahoy books, you should come out and
Local comic company from Rochester.
Second Coming
right?
is you can't even keep it on the shelves, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Second Coming sold out.
Second Coming, Jesus Christ sent back to Earth to live with a superhero by his father.
By God himself. Yeah.
By God himself. Wants him to learn a little bit differently. I've only read the first issue so far. It was really good.
Might be the hottest sub at this point now that Walking Dead's over.
Really?
For independent
Is
books
it?
here.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or Jesus Christ. That should be the explanation. Jesus Christ.
Everybody who reads it, it's like, sign me up.
And you know, Christian, non-Christian, believer, non-believer, it doesn't matter. And you could tell by the letters in the back as well.
Yeah.
Letters coming in from atheists, from pastors, saying this is just a great book.
Yeah.
The gentleman Darren that we talked to
shakes it up a little bit. It's really good though.
Yeah, the gentleman Darren that we talked to at Terrificon, who was there for Ahoy Comics, had told us a story that at the show a pastor walked up to him, and I get he was in regular clothes, but said, "I'm a pastor," and he goes, "I love this book." Mm-hmm. So
really, that's awesome.
I mean, this is a book that's kind of nefarious for the fact that Vertigo dropped it like a hot potato because they were afraid of what was going to happen with it. So, very cool. All right, here it is. We're going to put it out there now. Lou's pick of the millennium.
Pick of the millennium.
It is Die number 7. Kieran Gillen, who has done a bunch of stuff.
Year 3000.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
3000.
Yeah,
Darth Vader. He did Star Wars for a while.
Wicked and Divine.
Yeah, Wicked and Divine. He's done quite a bit of stuff. He is doing Die, and Die is the story. I'm going to look at Lou and see if I can pull it out of his head. Of a group of kids who play a Dungeons and Dragons type game together. They get sucked into the game, and then years later come back out, but not all of them are there. They're changed, and it's a story. He's nodding, and it's a story of what happens to them on the other side and how they're dealing with it. Oh, why don't you do this part? Go ahead.
They come back years later and then go their separate ways. They don't ever speak about what happened in there. There's actually
kind of like It Part 2.
Yeah. Then years later, and then years later, something happens to bring them back together, and they go back into that world.
Okay.
As adults. So yes, kind of. Like
you love this book.
I love it.
So
a lot of people are digging it.
We're gonna put it right here. Lou's pick of the millennium. He's gonna put that right here.
No other pick until 3000.
No other pick until there you go. He's not allowed to pick again in this century. So yeah, check that out. And we got Lloyd the Manster with one more book in his little hands.
This here is Mark Millar and Matteo Scalera, Space Bandits. I think a 5-issue miniseries.
Can I see that back for a second? Here's my favorite part about this book. Before we go over there, is that so you got it's Mark Millar.
Right.
So
I didn't buy it from Mark Millar though. I bought it from Matteo Scalera.
But I just like the advertisement on the back because they don't even they're at the point now where they don't have to tell you what it is anymore.
Right.
Netflix. Coming soon.
Just Netflix. Like it's not like
That's
Netflix $12.95 a month or Netflix we offer. It's they're at the point now of Coca-Cola level, just Netflix. And I also get why too, because if you don't know, Mark Millar has that deal with Netflix, so it's very possible. I don't know. I'm speaking just out of cuff that maybe Space Bandits is going to become a Netflix title.
Because I don't know that for sure,
because they're doing a lot of his stuff.
Of titles
Let's put that on the hollow wall of comics over there.
It's a story about Space Bandits. There's a double cross. There's a lady. She gets double crossed.
Space Bandits.
There's another nice book called Space Rider, by the way. But no, great, good story and great art. I love it. Yeah, check it out.
All right. So that was book by book. We went book by book, and now we're telling you to come back to Boom Tube Comics, 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike. See Dan here. Set up a pull list. Buy some of the books we talked about, and it's a comic book store, man. Come down, have fun.
Hang out.
It smells like new stuff in here all the time. I absolutely love it. Hang out. We just want to see you come in the door. Come in, grab something. Grab a number 1. Grab a number 300. Whatever it is you're looking for, Dan's either got it here, or guess what? He can get it here. Yeah. So come on down and get her done.